You're 17 years old. You've never held a real sword before. Your hands are shaking. Your mouth is dry. And in front of you, stretching all the way to the horizon, is a sea of men, some armored, some barefoot, most of them scared. They carry wooden crosses, rusted blades. Some have nothing at all, just hunger and hope. You can hear priests shouting prayers, telling you that God is watching, that He'll reward your courage, that your sins will be wiped clean if you just keep marching east. But no one tells you what's coming next. No one tells you about the rot, the sickness, the nightmares that don't stop when you wake up. But no one tells you what's coming next. No one tells you about the rot, the sickness, the nightmares that don't stop when you wake up. No one tells you what it's like to sleep beside the dead, or to kill a man who begged you to spare him in your own language, or to feel your stomach growl for days until you start wondering if your horse is still edible. This is the First Crusade, and you're in it now because your priest said heaven waited on the other side of this war. But the more you march, the more it starts to feel like hell. You thought this was about glory, but now you're knee-deep in mud and blood, and you're starting to wonder if God even remembers your name. And so, we ask you the question no one else will. Could you survive a medieval crusade? No, seriously, you weren't the only one who answered the call. Tens of thousands across Europe dropped everything when they heard the Pope's words. Take up the cross, from kings to peasants, blacksmiths to beggars. They all believed this war was holy. Some joined because they truly believed it was God's will. They thought they were marching toward salvation, that dying in battle meant eternal paradise. Some joined for the promise of land, gold, and power. If you couldn't inherit your father's farm, the crusade was your shot at a kingdom of your own. And then there were those who had nothing, no family, no future, no purpose. The crusade gave them something to believe in, or something to die for. Imagine the pressure. The entire village watching as you kneel before the priest, swearing your life to a war you don't understand. There's no army training, no military gear, just blind faith and a wooden cross stitched onto your tunic. You say goodbye to your mother, your brother, your younger sister. You won't see them again. Maybe they know it, maybe you do too. But you go anyway, because everyone's going. Because the priest says your sins will be forgiven. Because they say you'll come home a hero. Because dying for God is better than dying for nothing. Or so they tell you. You don't sleep the night before you leave. Your bag is small, just enough to carry a bit of dried bread, a flask of water, and a knife your father gave you. It's old, but it's sharp. You wear your thickest tunic, the boots you've had for years, and over your chest, a rough piece of cloth, hand-stitched with a red cross. That's it. That cross, that's your ticket to glory or death. You say goodbye in silence. Your mother cries, but doesn't stop you. Your father doesn't look you in the eyes. And your little brother? He asks if he can come with you. He doesn't understand. No one really does. The streets are crowded with men like you, most of them just as confused, just as scared. Some sing hymns, some try to act brave, others can barely hold their weapons without shaking. You're not a soldier, none of you are. There's no armor, no training, no real plan, just a direction, east, and a promise, heaven. The priest gives you a blessing, the crowd cheers, and before you know it you're walking, away from everything you've ever known. The road ahead is long. You'll cross rivers, mountains, and deserts. You'll face hunger, disease, betrayal, and blood. So much blood. But right now, your boots are still clean, your hands are still steady, your soul is still yours, and that won't last. The first few days feel like an adventure. The roads are rough, but spirits are high. Men sing songs, priests lead prayers. You start to believe the stories, that God is guiding your feet, that glory waits just beyond the horizon. But then the food runs low, and the real march begins. You're not walking down a stone path, you're dragging your blistered feet through mud, across freezing rivers, over broken terrain that no map warned you about. The old man beside you collapses on day 5. By day 8, a boy dies from infection. No one has time to bury him. You press on. You pass through villages that slam their doors shut at the sight of you. To them, you're not a holy warrior. You're a beggar, a threat, a curse. Then the rains come, and with them, the sickness. Your clothes are soaked. Your bread turns to mush. You haven't slept properly in days. And your stomach aches with every step. And that's when the fighting starts, not with the enemy, but with your own. 2 men argue over a stolen apple. One stabs the other. The body lies in the road. No trial, no prayer, no justice. You realize something terrifying. This isn't an army. It's a mob with crosses and swords, led by dreams and desperation. By the time you reach Constantinople, you're not the same person. You've seen death, you've walked past it, you've stepped over it just to keep moving, and you're still months away from your first battle. This was just the beginning. You don't remember who shouted first. One moment, you're resting beside a broken wall. The next, you hear screams, not of pain, but of rage. The enemy is close. You scramble to your feet. Your sword is in your hand, but your fingers won't stop shaking. All around you, men are shouting prayers and curses. Some run forward, others freeze. You want to be brave. You want to be the hero they talked about in church, but your legs feel like they're made of stone. The clash is chaos. This isn't the neat, noble battle you imagined. It's not rows of knights charging with banners. It's mud, it's screaming, it's blades smashing into bone, it's blood in your eyes. You swing wildly. You don't even know if you hit anything. A man crashes into you. He's your age, maybe younger. You see the terror in his face, and then someone drives a sword through his back. He falls onto you, and just like that you've killed. Or maybe you didn't. Does it even matter? All you know is his blood is on your hands. There's no time to think. You push him off, stumble through the mud, and swing again. The noise is unbearable. Metal on metal, men crying for help, others chanting like madmen, and then silence. Not around you, inside you. Something in you goes numb, not from fear. That's long gone. It's something else, something cold. You survived the battle, but you've lost something. A piece of yourself, the part you might never get back. And this was just the first fight. There's no honor here, not between the fights. Only hunger, disease, and the slow unraveling of men who thought they were chosen by God. You wake up on dirt. If you're lucky, it's dry. If not, you spend the day walking in mud with cold water, soaking your boots and blisters that bleed with every step. Food is whatever you can find, or steal old bread, rotten meat, rats. If you're fast enough, you've seen men fight over bones. You've seen them kill over soup. And water. That's worse. Sometimes it's clean. Most times, it smells like death, pulled from swamps or puddles left behind by rotting animals. Sickness spreads fast. One man coughs in the morning. By nightfall, 10 more are lying on the ground, pale, shaking, and barely breathing. You learn to sleep with one eye open, not for the enemy. For your own men. A hungry man can be more dangerous than a soldier. A desperate one, even worse. Morale is gone. Some say God has abandoned you. Others whisper that this war was never holy, that it was all a lie. Fights break out over nothing. A cloak, a piece of dried fruit, an insult. One man stabbed another because he looked at him the wrong way. You've stopped asking names. What's the point? They'll be gone by morning. And through it all, the priests keep preaching. Stay the course. Heaven is near. But heaven feels very far away. And hell walks beside you now. Dressed in Crusader colors, you've walked over 2,000 miles. You've buried friends. You've eaten things you swore you never would. You've watched men go mad from hunger, grief, and silence. And now you see it, Jerusalem, the holy city, the prize, the reason thousands died along the way, the reason you're still alive, or what's left of you. But it's not over, not yet. The city is surrounded by thick stone walls, guarded, fortified, prepared. You have no siege weapons. You barely have food. Men are collapsing in the heat, bones visible beneath skin. And still the priests shout from the hilltops, God wills it. So you build towers from scraps, drag ladders up rocky slopes, and prepare to climb into hell. The assault begins before sunrise. Arrows rain down. Oil is poured from above. Screams echo through the dust and blood. You see a man catch fire. He doesn't scream. He just runs, silently, like a torch in human form, until he falls. The walls are taken after days of slaughter. And then the gates open. You rush in, expecting peace, relief, tears of joy. Instead, you see something else. A massacre. Soldiers don't stop. They kill men, women, children, anyone who isn't one of you. The streets run with blood. The temple itself is filled with corpses. You don't recognize yourself anymore. Your hands are red. Your eyes are empty. And all you can do is whisper, we won. But somewhere deep inside, a voice asks, did we? You survived. But something's wrong. You look at your hands, they're shaking, not from fear, not from pain, from something else, something you can't quite name. You thought killing would get easier, that the blood would stop bothering you, that the screams would fade. But they don't. They follow you, even in your dreams at night. You see the boy you stepped over during the siege, the one with no weapon, no armor, just eyes full of terror. You didn't kill him, but you didn't help him either. You see the woman who begged you for mercy, shouting in a language you didn't understand until the sword silenced her. You tell yourself it was war, that God forgave you, that it was necessary, but deep down, you're not sure God was even watching. You start avoiding the priests. Their words don't feel holy anymore. They sound like excuses. Men around you laugh about the slaughter. They drink, they sing, they celebrate. You pretend to join them, but your smile is hollow. Your eyes stay cold. Something in you has changed, or maybe something died. It's not your body, it's your soul. The long road back is colder, not because of the weather, because you're not the same. You pass towns that used to sing when the Crusaders marched by. Now they shut their doors. Some whisper behind windows, others spit in the dust as you pass. They've heard the stories of what happened in Jerusalem, of what you did. You finally reach your village. It's smaller than you remember, quieter. Your mother is older. Your brother doesn't recognize you. Your father, gone, died last winter. You tried to sit in church, but the walls feel like they're pressing in. You try to pray, but you can't find the words. The priest calls you a hero, but when you look in the mirror, you don't see one. You came back alive, but you're not the same man who left. You're not even sure you're a man at all anymore. Just a shell, carrying memories you wish you could bury. They told you this was a holy war. They told you God would be waiting at the end, but the only thing waiting was silence. You survived the journey. You survived the war. You made it home. But what does survival even mean? Your body may still be whole, but your mind, your heart, your soul, what did you leave behind on those roads? What did you bury in the sand outside Jerusalem? And what did you bring back that you can't ever put down? They say the Crusaders took the Holy Land, that they won. But what did they really win? A city soaked in blood, a broken army, 1,000 graves, or was it something else? You were promised forgiveness, promised heaven, promised meaning, but what you found was hunger, hatred, and silence. So now, with everything you've seen, everything you've done, we ask you one last time, could you survive a medieval crusade? No, seriously. If this journey shook you, if it made you think twice about the stories we're told, then you're exactly where you belong. Here on Curious Medieval, we uncover the brutal, forgotten, and downright unbelievable truths of history, without sugarcoating anything. From cursed crusades to secret brotherhoods, from battlefield horrors to the dark side of chivalry, we show you history as it really was. So if you're ready to dig deeper, to explore the mysteries they don't teach in school, hit subscribe, tap that bell icon, and prepare for more stories that will chill you, shock you, and stay with you. Until next time, stay curious and stay alive.